Good afternoon. Good morning, everyone. What can I say about Agnes? Agnes is amazing data and AI sales director at Microsoft. And like IAG Bora Aslan, Agnes has been with Women in AI from the day one. And she's been, working with us, kindly supporting us, all the initiative for us in Australia. And Agnes has over 30 years experience engaging strategic product and market management role, and also responsible for taking Microsoft message and technology in data analytics and AI to market. Today, Agnes is going to share about the ethical AI, and please over to you, Agnes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Angela. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everyone who's joined in. I'm sorry for the technical issues. We're running a little bit behind, but hopefully I'll get through most of these slides and messages as we're trying to do everything online these days. We're all sort of stretched technically, including myself, when I panicked a little bit when I wasn't sure if I was logging on to the right session. I almost went backstage virtually, so that was really exciting. Thank you, Angela, for the background. I guess I've been involved in data and analytics and business intelligence and AI for about 3 decades now. Majority of the time spending at Microsoft, mainly in engineering, product development, marketing, and now sales. I bring in a lot of experience from our customers' voice and what customers are enabling, which I find myself incredibly lucky to be in that shoes, to be helping organizations really using and empowering AI to do better and more with technology and their businesses. So today I'm just going to focus very narrowly on the subjects around the future of AI and what Microsoft Lens is in the space of trust and ethics. So I'll have to navigate through 2 slides, so you'll bear with me as I'm looking to the right and left as I'm trying to go through this. So at first, I'm just going to set the scene in regards to what Microsoft's view of AI is. So what does that mean for us? And I'm not going to spend too much time on that because there's been a lot of messages in regards to what AI means. But just to simply bring it down to us so that we're not confused and we know what we're talking about, is AI is about computers understanding the world. And there are really 2 pieces to this. Is the concept around the perception and the cognition. So if we look back, understanding things like vision and speech is not necessarily new to us. We've seen machines that have hear us for a long time in regards to telephone. We've seen photographs that have taken pictures of us for some time now. And we've been able to record our voices and play back. So we're taking the technology into the new world of now computers understanding and learning from those behaviors around vision and speech. And with the cognition, we're starting to look at language understanding. We're starting to see different language translation services embedded in application, and we can knowledge mine a lot of information that comes out of patterns and predictions in our day-to-day life. For example, when you're watching a Netflix movie or a series, it understands the behaviors around your watching pattern and makes recommendation to the next movie or series that you might be interested to see. So we're seeing more and more of this perception and cognitive behaviors embedded into computers, which is what we understand of it as AI. So what happens when computers are behaving more and more like humans now? So what is the impact of that to people and the ethics that underpin AI? Because we're now challenged with every ethical question that we've had, we're faced with translating that into computer world now. We can't ignore that, we know that. And we have a long history as society for building blocks of these ethics and values that we hold so dearly near us. So what we've done is we've got to look at the development of AI and computers behaving not more like humans. And we've said we can't afford to look at this with an uncritical eye. And I guess that's where from a Microsoft point of view, bringing in the vision and the principles and the frameworks in which we build our ethics around our AI development is a real key differentiator. As a result, what we've got is we've actually published a book called Future Computed, which is a book from our president and head of research that looks at AI and its impact on society. But I'm going to summarize some of the key concepts of this across the next few slides. So what is the actual framework, the ethics of AI that we follow when we're speaking to our customers who are looking at developing AI solutions, or when we develop ready, available AI APIs that we take into market? There are 4 principles that I think every AI development should be looking at when they're looking at ethical development. It's around the fairness. We need to ensure that AI is fair and programmed without bias and discrimination. We want to make sure that the decisions that we're making and the way we're teaching the computers to make that decision is ethically aligned to the way we see society. We need to do this by attracting diverse pool of AI talent programmers. We need to have different points of view, and we definitely need to have the human review and domain expertise to have another lens on top of it. In other words, we can't just let computers learn on their own from the patterns and the data that we've provided. We need to cast a critical eye to ensure that discrimination and bias has been removed from AI applications. The second principle we look at is the reliability and safety. I mean, this is not a new concept. We've seen this since cars have been brought onto the roads. We've seen the immersion of technology in the automobile industry, and we've seen it in our industrial revolution as well. Well, we need to create and develop a number of safety standards and help improve the safety to ensure that society continues on operating. Bringing in roads where pedestrians are walking, we need to do the same thing to ensure that we're delivering reliable and safe products that are AI bound into our society. Privacy and security is top of mind for everyone. We hear about security breaches, privacy breaches every day in the media. And organizations who do not adhere to the strict privacy and security and regulations and laws of their country and globally will fall behind as they're developing AI technology. So it's absolutely critical for every organization to understand the context of information technology and apply it to the next generation of computing to ensure we're bringing in technology that translates to what people want from every organization from handing over their data. Inclusiveness is the 4th pillar. If we look around the globe, we have over 1 billion people who are disabled. They have one form or of another way of not having access to basic needs. If AI is there to improve our lives, do we not take into consideration the inclusiveness of the AI? So how do we build AI for accessibility and outreach to those that don't normally have access to those capabilities? So it enhances the opportunity for those with disability. And it's an important critical factor of the principle when we're looking at developing AI solutions. But I guess what we need to look at is the concept around the core principles need to be underpinned by 2 fundamental principles. It's the principle of transparency, being able to be transparent and show the principles you've followed in your development across all stages. We need to build functions and make sure that they adhere to the people's view of what they need to be seen as. People should understand how decisions were made. They shouldn't be kept in the dark. I think a few years ago, we were seeing a lot of AI technologies described as black boxes, where people felt uncomfortable not knowing what the decision process was for developing those AI solutions. So transparency is key in the decision of the AI and how the computers are going to be learning. And of course, the last one is the principle around accountability. So if we're going to be the first generation that's going to bring AI to society, are we not accountable for what we're bringing in and how we're designing the computers that are going to remain in our society? We need a higher level of accountability for those who are producing and using the technology. We can't just be complacent by bringing out technology. Which brings the question that, similar to what we have seen in the medical industry, do we need to think about our AI programmers? We're having an oath or a code that says, I will produce socially ethically software. Computers who are learning from me, but I will take accountability for what I'm building as well. So it's a big question that we haven't really answered, but we need to think about this because it's a critical path in ensuring that we are developing AI solutions that are ethically and socially acceptable. And when we do that, we can continue on staying true to the timeless values that we have. So the decisions around ethics and code of practice look at how we as a society can stay true to our values, developing and delivering these new technologies. That accountability will allow us to have that continuous cycle. But then it begs the question when we ask, whose values? Because we've got different values depending on our upbringing, where we're from, what part of the world we're from. But we know that we've got values that we've held on to as society for a long time. So is it time to start looking at social license as a form of understanding what society's value question is? What does society want? And social license, I guess, is the concept where we allow everybody to have a say in the code and the decisions, and it's the voice of the people that goes into the AI technology and development. If I compare it to the way we've dealt with in terms of the climate change, for example, we have kept the experts in a room arguing over climate change, and we haven't really allowed society to have a say in that in regards to the impact and the values that they want to have a voice in. So it's very critical that as the first generation that we're bringing AI into this world, we're very cognizant in terms of allowing everybody to have a say, not only those who are developing, but society in general. And the critical path is that we need to start looking at how we bring these different principles of social licenses from different backgrounds together. So it's time for us to start thinking if we need to bring in a global conversation and consensus. I know a lot of governments and organizations are starting to look at this in their own areas, but how do we bring these together to have a holistic conversation? Because after all, when we're developing AI solutions, we're going to go global with these. Technology advancements, applications are going to be used by various different people. And the whole essence of it is to do more and outreach more. So we need to have an open dialogue, which is globally aware. I think it's time for me, and it's getting an echo. Can I finish that, or?
Yes, yeah, gently wrap up, please, Agnes. Thank you so much.
Okay. No, that's okay. I've lost my slides. Yeah. So I guess in regards to the last point I was going to make, which was going to go into ethics and jobs, the last slide I'm going to leave you with is the concept around how AI is going to change our skilling and how we're going to be looking at in terms of the future of the jobs. And the thought I'm going to leave you with is that AI power requires not only science and technology, engineering and maths, which is what we know. We're going to start looking at computers behaving more like humans. We need more social science and humanitarian skills embedded in AI technology. I'll stop there for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Agnes. As always, I always enjoy hearing your talk about especially ethical AI component. Thank you so much, and thanks for sharing your LinkedIn profile. I'm pretty sure audience enjoys so much and asked so many questions. Please feel free to reach out to Agnes for further questions. And thank you so much, Agnes, Panosian from Microsoft. Thank you, and hope to talk to you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye for now. Thank you.